What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So I will be making schedule predictions for every single Power 5 team in college football for this upcoming season. And I'll also do a subsequent conference standings video once I finish every single team in a specific conference, just as a synopsis of all of my schedule predictions. Those will be coming later on in August as we get closer to the start of the season. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the West Virginia schedule predictions. So some quick thoughts on the West Virginia program as a whole heading into 2022. And this is a program that always feels like it might be good enough to take a big step forward as a program, but they never seem to actually pull it off. This year they add JT Daniels, who I think is a good but not great quarterback, and he should do decently well for them. But the out-of-conference schedule they have is just brutal. I mean, they go at Pitt and at Virginia Tech, which are both incredibly difficult games, both very tough places to play as well, and I expect them to be the underdog in both of those. And then the Big 12 slate is also absolutely brutal for them, just with how the home and away games worked out for them. And honestly, despite this team being good enough to win probably 6 or 7 games on paper, looking at the schedule, I think making a bowl game would be a huge win at this point. So let's go ahead and look at some teams that they just, don't have much of a chance to beat West Virginia, so they aren't worth discussing, barring some sort of catastrophe. And there's only one of those for them, and that is Towson. All of their other games are pretty difficult. So they open up the season week 1 on a Thursday at Pitt, like I was saying, in the out-of-conference, and this is a really, really, really tough game. I mean, Pitt returns almost their entire defense. They have Keaton Slovis running the show on offensive quarterback. I think Pitt is just a little bit better team than West Virginia across the board. They're the home team here. You're really early on in the season, too, and Pitt has a lot more experience and continuity on their roster than West Virginia does at this point. So I'm going to go with Pitt to get a big win there in week 1. Next game up in week 2 is at home against Kansas. Now, this is a nice, easy game for them for the most part. Kansas isn't a complete pushover, but they're not in the same category really as the West Virginias of the world, so I think they get a nice win there. Next game we're going to talk about is in week 4 at Virginia Tech. Like I discussed with the out-of-conference schedule, this one's also on a Thursday, which is sort of strange, but they're coming off of the Towson game, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But yeah, you get a short week to go on the road at Virginia Tech in a very difficult place to play. It's also going to be a night game, so good luck with that one. I think Virginia Tech is a little bit better than West Virginia. They're decently even, to be honest. But you're at Virginia Tech on a short week, and it's a night game too. I think that's a really tough one to work out, particularly on the scheduling thing. There's 5 days between your previous game and this one, and you got to travel for it. Not an easy situation, so I'm going to go with Virginia Tech to win that one. Then they have to play Texas, and they play Texas on the road. Now, because of them getting a short week the prior week, they get a long week heading into Texas, and I think that is really important. Now, they also catch Texas right before they play Oklahoma, which I think is also really important. So I think you're going to catch Texas in a look-ahead mode a little bit, and I think you're going to get extra time to prepare for them, and they're about to head into a bye week too, so there is definitely not any look ahead or anything like that for West Virginia. I think West Virginia gets a big upset win there. I think they can kind of go in there, surprise everyone a little bit. They're good enough to hang around with most anybody on their schedule, including Texas. So while I think Texas is probably the better team, I think West Virginia gets that win due to some outside factors. Then, like I said, they go into a bye week before playing Baylor again on a Thursday. They love this Thursday stuff. At least this time they're coming off a bye, though, so it just kind of shortens your free week there. I think Baylor is a very, very good team. I don't think West Virginia is as good as Baylor. I know they get them at home. It's definitely one that they have a fighting chance in. It's not one that you want to just write off as a loss by any means. It's one that, like I said, they got a good shot in, but I think Baylor's a better team. I'm going to go with Baylor to win that one. And then the week after, on another decently short week, or no, on another long week, not a short week, because these Thursday games, they really confuse you. But yeah, on another long week, they head in on the road at Texas Tech. Now, I think they're slightly better than Texas Tech, but just ever so slightly. And Texas Tech is the home team here. And, I think Texas Tech is going to really be desperate for a win at this point. And you don't ever want to be on the road against desperate teams late in the season. And then Texas Tech also has a really explosive offense as well. So I'm going to go with Texas Tech to get the win here. Now, another one West Virginia could very well win. And that would be a huge win for them. This is one that if they do win, I think they're basically guaranteed bowl eligibility. But if they don't, then you're going to run into some trouble. I don't think they get it. I think Texas Tech gets a big win there. Next game up is TCU, and TCU, very interesting matchup here. They're a good team. They're not a great team. I think they're about the same overall, honestly, as West Virginia, and it makes for an interesting matchup, to say the least. It really creates an interesting situation where they're just very even. And I know West Virginia is at home, but it's a really tough one to pick. There are a lot of unknowns heading into this game at this point. TCU's got a new head coach. West Virginia's got a new quarterback and all. There's a lot of unknown heading here. I'm going to side with West Virginia. I think they're a little bit better than TCU, just ever so slightly, and they are the home team. So again, I'm going to go with them, but it's really close. Definitely a tough matchup. Not one that you can take for granted by any means either. Next game up is at Iowa State, and that's a really tough place to go play. And I think they're decently even teams, but on the road there, I like Iowa State in that one. I think it's another one where West Virginia has a good fighting chance in, but not one that I would predict them to win either. Then they follow that up with Oklahoma, and another one where, similar to the Texas game, where I think Oklahoma is the better team. This time they're going on the road at West Virginia, though. I think Oklahoma is in year one under Brent Venables. They're going to be inconsistent. They're going to have some games where they don't show up and play as good as they could and as good as they really should. And so I'm going to say West Virginia gets another big upset win here against Oklahoma. So I do have them losing some games that they maybe should win or could win, like Texas Tech or Iowa State or something. But I've also got them getting a couple big upsets along the way as well, like Texas and Oklahoma. So I think it kind of balances out. The week after that, they play Kansas State at home, and I think Kansas State is just a little bit better than them. I think West Virginia is going to be in a bit of a letdown situation coming off of a big upset over Oklahoma. And I think Kansas State is likely to get the win here. Going to side with them. It's going to be a really close game and another one of those kind of 50-50 toss-up games that could go either way. I'm going to side with Kansas State in this one. And then they wrap up the season at Oklahoma State, and this is one where I think Oklahoma State is probably the best team in the Big 12 this upcoming year. They're on the road. That's a long road trip. It's a tough road trip. And I think Oklahoma State is going to be, pretty focused for this one. Now, you could catch them if their season goes how I think it is, and a little bit of a look ahead for the Big 12 championship the week after, but I don't think so. I think Oklahoma State is going to be locked in, ready to go, and I think that they're gonna finish out the season strong with a win over West Virginia. So they make West Virginia 5-7 on the year, and honestly, that is a brutal record for a team that should absolutely be able to find a way to get to 6 wins, but the out-of-conference schedule is absolutely killer here. And they really only get one easy game on the schedule in Towson, and then Kansas is also decently easy. But at Pitt and at Virginia Tech are both brutally hard, and that's before getting into conference play where they have Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Texas Tech, and Texas all on the road. Now, I have them winning 2 of those, but they're probably going to have to win 3 if they want to have a shot at making the bowl. The home slate isn't easy either with games like Kansas State, Baylor, Oklahoma, and TCU. I think they'll probably win 1 of those as well, but they're going to have to try to find a way to win 2, like I said, if they want to make a bowl game. So it's a tough schedule the way it works out for them. And West Virginia is certainly a good enough team to make a bowl. And I was kind of shocked when I came out to only 5 wins for them, but this schedule is just really, really difficult for them. And it'll take some upsets just to get to that 6-win range, like I said. Anyway, though, that'll do it for this one. Let me know down below in the comment section where you agree and or disagree with me on the West Virginia schedule in 2022. Tell me what record you think they're going to have next year and who, if anybody, they're going to lose to. Also, if you made it this far in the video, be sure to go ahead and leave a like because it does help out the channel tremendously. Let me know you're enjoying this kind of content, and subscribe for more college football content in the future. Like I said, I'm going to be doing one of these for every single Power 5 team. This is my last one for the Big 12. I've done the ACC. I have done the SEC. There are only the Pac-12 and Big 10 left. So be on the lookout for those as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.